Bit late now. Have you?
No, I never saved.
That was not an issue. That wasn't anything that you considered at the time. As family.
For me, before I got on hormones, they asked me if I wanted to save that, and I was more interested in getting onto the hormones so that I could feminize myself more than having my own children at that time. I think I had come to terms at that time in my life that no, I won't be having children. So yeah,
Okay.
I would have loved to have my own children.
See, they've got these choices these days. In my day, when I was young, it just didn't even, occur to us. I made some sacrifices in my life, realising that, things like relationships and lifelong, and all of that sort of thing. And particularly when, I became really, well known and things like that, because there was still stigma around it all, and it was just a whole thing. I think I said in a doco once that if I was to go and get married or have a relationship, well, I couldn't get married then, but have a relationship that would essentially be a heterosexual one, but because I'm a tranny, it'd be the front cover of the Woman's Weekly, and it would just be so publicised that my partner would have to endure all of that. So I sort of put having long-term, relationship aside.
Yeah. There's been a confluence, yes. You've had the homosexual law reform bill that changed things drastically for the LGBT community.
I caution there. Yes, but no. It did absolutely nothing for the transgender community. But we were part of the gay community.
Yeah, but you've come through that now, yes? You've come through being the transgender people, from my little reading, bisexuals were panned by both camps, just for being greedy, if I got it right. Just being greedy. And transgender have suffered, to a degree, the same politic and the same sort of fate over the last 3 or 4 decades.
The homosexual law reform gave us a rallying point as a gay community to support a liberalisation of the law. When homosexual law reform passed, it opened a door for the rest of the LGBTI community to now lobby for their specific needs. And the transgender community in New Zealand today, and perhaps worldwide, now are getting more of a voice. Not a lot.
No.
She's got a high international, global profile, that's for sure. And she has an opportunity, if she wishes to be a very strong advocate of it. But she's learning herself what her new life is about. And to land on her the weight of the rest of the transgender world is not fair. And
that's what was done to you here in New Zealand.
Well, yes, but I've laid the path. When I realised that, yes, the Wairarapa may have elected me as their political representative for a period of time, is one thing. The gay community and around the world then saw a focus on me that, oh God, if I could make it in politics, which many transgender people have tried but had never got there because they didn't have a major political party who got behind them and supported them, for that possibility to occur. But no, it took a rural redneck area of New Zealand to overlook my lurid past and all of that sort of thing, and to sort of say, look, we're going to trust you with our vote to represent us. That was remarkable. So the story isn't so much about me, it's about them. And it gives hope to us all that if people here like that could, forgive me my, dark, shady issues of the past. And you know what it comes down to? Just straight up honesty. I found that people in the Wairarapa could spot a fake at 50 paces, and they wouldn't give you their trust in that regard unless they had some idea that you were genuine and sincere and honest and true about, what you would wish to do. And as far as, giving back to the community in that way. That's amazing. So the lesson is that, that don't write off people who are apparently conservative, thinking they don't, wouldn't have a bar of someone like me. They gave me a chance to prove myself, and I guess that happened when I was the Mayor of Carterton and when I was on the Carterton Council. So it's sort of like my audition.
You rose up through the ranks, literally.
I did, and without any help, without any favours being done necessarily, it wasn't sort of like, we'll whip her in through the list, in the list process that we have here.
See, I only lived here in Marston until I was about 16. Then I had to run away to a bigger place where I felt that there was a community that I could be a part of. Definitely no community here for me back then, and this was like in the 90s. Yeah, so I moved, which I think a lot of people, gay or transgender, they have to move to a bigger place because there's just more people like ourselves there. There's support groups, there's everything there, but in the smaller towns, not so much. And not for me back then.
Must be a painful thing.
It is a bit of a pain to have to move to another place to feel normal or accepted. But it's something you have to accept. Like, you just have to accept it. This is you. This is your journey. You have to go to where you're accepted and embraced. Yeah.
And I think while you're talking about some of the attitude towards gay people in general in rural conservative areas, it is a dangerous place for a gay person to be. Still is now to some degree, but not as much as it was. The irony was, from my perspective, that the country boys had come over the hill for a rugby weekend or something in Wellington or whatever. This is when I was working in the sex industry in Vivian Street, Wellington, and in the strip clubs and things like that. Well, hello. Mr. Wairarapa turns up down there with his group of buddies and stuff, and they've got themselves written off and drunk and, stupor. And where do they end up? Vivian Street, off to the strip clubs.
In your arm.
Yeah, and the next thing you know, they don't care who pops it in their mouth as long as it feels good. And suddenly sort of, and we they come and have sex with us and things like that, but don't tell my mates. While they were happy to roll over in bed and ask for all sorts of bloody things and pay for it. And all of that, and yet they come back home and they're the big blokey things. That's why when I was came to live in the Wairarapa and things like that, and I'd got on the council in Carterton, for example, and maybe I was, running for the mayoralty. Well, all a girl had to do was turn up at a woolshed party, and and they go, "Oh, bloody mayor's here," and it was me, and they all knew about me and all of that sort of thing, and I never felt any kind of danger or that they were going to do something horrible, or queer bashing or anything like that. In fact, they were impressed. I would even turn up. They'd just sort of, make sure whether or not I could, down a bottle of beer or drink or whatever like that. And excuse me, I worked down in the. Of course I could do all of that, and so there's a double standard. There's a hypocrisy about all of that stuff, to a degree. But it doesn't take away that for some gay men particularly, there's still danger, because people are scared and fearful of something they don't know a lot about and have been indoctrinated through all of their upbringing to be sort of have a homophobic attitude, and they sure as hell don't want to be accused of it themselves, and so they avoid it and take it out, on gay people here. We have a gay community in the Wairarapa, and there are now cafes and restaurants and designer businesses and interior design and all sorts of things. And because we have changed our attitude in this country over the years, they are now better functioning people in our local community than they were before. And it's not such a big issue anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
And so, but there's still a bit of a, undercurrent.